Hello, everybody. This is All Star Productions, and welcome back to the WMMA 6 Developers Journal coverage. I was doing a stream and came across the fact that there was a new post that came into play. We're officially now on to day 3. And if the first 2 days taught us anything, it's that Adam Ryland is not easing us into this. He's dropping some real features, some real big upgrades, and some real changes that are going to shape the World of Mixed Martial Arts series into what was a walk turning into what was a run that is now going to be turning into a marathon. WMMA 6 is going into the biggest leap the series has ever taken. Day 1 gave us the FAQ, this right here. I posted that in a previous video. And then day 2 hit us with some overhauls right here. And rankings in general. With quality of life improvements that fixed long-standing pain points from WMMA 5. And now we're stepping into day 3, the point where the journal continues to build momentum and where the reveals begin stacking on top of each other. This is where we start seeing how deep the changes really can go. So buckle up, because day 3 continues the trend of Adam taking everything that slowed WMMA 5 down, anything that felt outdated, and everything that needed modernization, and flipping it into something smoother, smarter, and more powerful. So without any further ado, let's get straight into it. The first thing being number 8, new fighter skills. This is what Adam Ryland posted here. 2 new skills have been added for fighters: anti-wrestling and grappling defense. These additions allow fighters, particularly those from a striking background, to be able to defend themselves without having to be given good offensive wrestling skills as they would in previous games, and therefore allows a more accurate simulation. As a related change, teams can now train anti-wrestling as a specific skill set on top of the existing types. The note here that in reality the term anti-wrestling usually takes into account things like a fighter's sprawl and takedown defense, as these are already covered by separate stats. Anti-wrestling in WMMA 6 specifically relates to the fighter's ability to control distance and avoid being pulled into clinches / grappling situations against their will. So this stat is about preventing the wrestling phase from even starting. The grappling defense is the ability to defend positional advances, avoid being controlled, avoid being tied up, and avoid being stuck in bad grappling situations. It's the defensive counterpart to offensive grappling. And why does this matter? This is the big picture. The change solves a major realism issue that, honestly, it does very much exist in the earlier games. The problem with WMA 5 and a lot of the previous ones is if you wanted a striker to be good at staying off the ground, you had to give them good wrestling, grappling, and clinch skills, even if they were not wrestlers. It just led to unrealistic fighter profiles, with strikers having 70 wrestling, 65 grappling, 60 clinch, 75 takedown defense, just so they wouldn't get mauled instantly. It didn't feel very authentic. But now This is being fixed completely. A striker can be elite at striking, terrible at offensive wrestling, terrible at offensive grappling, but still good at staying out of grappling situations, which is exactly how real MMA works. Think about fighters like Israel Adesanya, Ciryl Gane, Joanna Jedrzejczyk, Alex Pereira. They're not wrestlers. They're not grapplers, but they are extremely good at controlling distance, avoiding clinches, staying off the cage, preventing grappling phases, and keeping the fight where they want it. So it finally allows that level of nuance for WMMA 6. And adding this to the team too makes it so we have layers to how gyms can develop fighters in that sort of sense too. So if you're new to WMMA, this makes fighters feel more like a real MMA fight or a real MMA universe. It just adds more to the realism, mostly. Styles will matter more, matchups will become more interesting, and here's why the veterans should care. Say goodbye to giving your kickboxers 70 wrestling just so they don't fall on the ground. Say goodbye to the unrealistic stat inflation and to strikers who magically become grapplers. WMMA 6 will finally let you build fighters the way they should be built. And now for the next thing, we've got something that may look small on paper but has an impact on realism and long-term game depth. South America has been upgraded. And this is what they wrote. The South American game area has been upgraded. It now contains 3 new countries, Peru, Ecuador, and Chile. And Brazil expands to be formed of 5 separate subregions, effectively making it an area within an area. Which means they'll have their own popularity levels, their own potential promotions, their own fighter bases, regional development paths. And this will be, and I assume Brazil will just be like Northern Brazil, Western Brazil, Northwest Brazil, or something like that. And why this matters for the big picture. South America will become more of an actual ecosystem. So it's more diverse, more populated, more dynamic, and more interesting in general. And in real life, Brazil is one of the biggest MMA hubs on the planet, and breaking it into 5 subregions allows the game to simulate a lot more of the local, regional type of things. So it's just more realistic and it's more fun. And there's more opportunities for the promotions, which is especially huge for fantasy universes and modders. More fighters from more backgrounds too. In WMMA 5, South American fighters were overwhelmingly Brazilian, and WMMA 6 will fix that a little bit more than the previous games. And better long-term world simulation. More regions equals more complexity, which equals more organic world evolution. Over time, you'll see promotions rising up in Peru, Chilean fighters becoming stars, Ecuadorian prospects breaking into big leagues, and South America becoming a global MMA powerhouse. And for that, Day 3 continues the trend of Adam modernizing WMMA 6 to match the depth and polish of Total Extreme Wrestling. These three features might look small at first glance, but they massively improve world building, realism, and usability. So let's break it down on the last three entries. At number 10, we've got Enhanced Alumni. To bring the game, this is what Adam says, to bring the game in line with Total Extreme Wrestling, a company's alumni section has been upgraded and now allows the user to view the historic roster and reigning champions as they were on any date in the company's history, based on the dates used by the employment histories and title histories. So it's more of a cosmetic thing, but it's nice to see that is making a difference, because I like, again, there, as I talked about with the other one of the other features that was more cosmetic, the end of year awards. This allows us to be able to tell the story of the companies and the championships and anything else that may take place. But it also allows for people to go a little bit more in depth into that kind of thing too, if they wanted. And it's great for the long saves too, which will make saves feel like an act, feel more realistic and into a real universe, mostly. And now for number 11, we've got company pound for pound rankings. What Adam ended up saying was, by request, companies now have an additional pound for pound ranking on top of the usual selection of one for each of their own weight classes. Why this matters. Real MMA fans constantly debate who's the best fighter in the world, who's number one pound for pound, who's the most dominant champion. And now we can simulate that discussion. And it's better for matchmaking. You can instantly see who the top fighters are, who most deserves the super fights, who is rising across the divisions, and who is dominating the company overall. And it's better for storytellings because we can build narratives like, he's the number one male pound for pound fighter in the company. She cracked in the top 10 pound for pound after her last win. This upset knocked them out of the pound for pound rankings. It adds prestige and drama. And it's better for long saves too, because you can track the generational talent, the dominant champions, the fighters who rise across divisions, and historical pound for pound kings and queens. It's a simple feature with a massive impact, especially for those that like to talk about that kind of stuff and do the storytelling. And now for the final entry, we've got for today, we've got on-screen opponent records. When viewing fight histories, this is what Adam Ryland said, by the way, the opponent's ranking and win-loss record at the time of the fight are now displayed in parentheses if known. This was requested so that it becomes easier to see the quality of the opposition that a fighter has been facing. Why does this matter? You can finally judge the quality of the wins. In WMMA 5, you could see who someone beat, but not how good that opponent was at the time. Now you can see, oh, he beat a top 5 fighter. She beat someone who was 12-11. He lost to someone who was unranked. She was an upset for a rising contender. There's better fighter evaluation where you can instantly tell who fought tough competition, who padded their record, who beat ranked opponents, who struggled against low-ranked fighters. It makes scouting a little bit more accurate there as well. And there's better storytelling here as well. You can highlight, oh, this was a huge upset. The opponent was number 3 at the time. This win launched them into title contention. This loss derailed their momentum. Fight histories become richer and more meaningful. And again, it's just better for longer saves again. Over time, you can track how fighters climbed through the rankings, how they performed against top competition, how their careers evolved, and how their wins and losses shaped their legacy. It's a massive quality of life upgrade overall. And that about wraps up day 3 of the Developer's Journal. And yeah, this day was stacked. We've got new defensive skill systems, a deeper South American world map, enhanced alumni history, company pound-for-pound rankings, and fight history context that will actually help us judge the quality of wins the way real MMA fans do. And this is now a reminder that WMMA 6 isn't just adding content, it's redefining the entirety of mixed martial arts simulation. It's making fighters more realistic, it's making the world feel more alive, and it's making our companies feel like actual MMA promotions with history, identity, and evolution. We're only 3 days in. A quick heads up for everyone following along. I won't be able to do Thursday and Friday's journal entries right away. I will catch up eventually, whether it's this weekend or on Monday, depending on how things line up. But don't worry, I will cover those entries those days. I will break everything down and I will keep the hype train rolling. So stick around, stay tuned, and get ready, because WMMA 6 is shaping up to be the biggest leap this series has ever taken. I'm All Star Productions. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you soon for the next batch of World of Mixed Martial Arts 6 reveals. Stay sharp, stay focused, and stay the all-stars that you are. Peace out, everybody.